All right, so here's an update with the Acura TL year 2000. I had painted it in the garage, and since I own an air compressor, I figured I'd just buy a little paint gun and start painting. It doesn't matter if it turns out pretty good or not. I'm not aiming for a show car or anything like that, but it turns out it's better than I expected. Regarding the hood, what am I going to do with the hood? Well, I know I painted it over. I bought this junkyard hood here for the same car because mine has a lot of dents in them. So it's easier to just do that. I figured it's much easier to do that because I've tried my hands on fixing this body panel right here, and it took a really long time, and it's still not perfect. I can still see a little bit of stuff there if I look closely, but still better than it was before. Here's a little picture of the way it was before, and you can see it's way better. So that's progress. If you're curious, I did this with an 8-gallon air compressor and an HLPV 1.3 nozzle paint gun, and it turned out pretty good. This is just a normal cheap body panel paint, and now it's pretty shiny. I mean, it's not. It needs to be buffed out in order to really make it look like it's a brand new car, but I'm not sure if I need to do that since this is a project car. I'm not really trying to get it to perfect or anything. It just needed to look good. And since the body is pretty good now, there's really not much to do in it. Now, regarding the transmission on this car, it's right here now. So I was naive enough to think that I can fix it. I fixed it. It ran for a while, and now it's done. So it's there. So it's just sitting there on the side now. I took it out. But what happens here is that I learned that Honda Accords have the best transmission, judging from the fact that they have the most cars that have 300,000 miles in them, and they are rated as the best transmissions, and they bolt mostly on these cars because Acura and Honda are the same thing. 2006 specifically. So I found a 100,000 mile Honda Accord that has been rear-ended in the junkyard. I took it out, paid a very cheap price for the transmission, and bolted it on this one, and now this one is running like a champ. So that's a great win for this car because I just had to do a little modification in that transmission, put it on this car, and now this car is running perfectly. And also, since this is a V6 300 horsepower and Honda Acura has a little higher gear ratio because it's a little newer. That was a 2006. This one is a 2000. It's a little bit faster in terms of acceleration because of the higher gear ratio, and makes this car much more fun to drive than it already was. It was already very fun to drive before, and now it's even more fun because of the higher gear ratio acceleration. So yeah, so this is an amazing car, great project. Everything here is pretty much done. Biggest thing about this car, transmission was slipping. So I got that fixed, and now the body errors here, those needs to be fixed, and looks like I'm on my way there. And so once that's done, I'll give an update, and yeah, it's a pretty sweet car.